Before we get into discussing vision, mission, and values, I want to give you a little bit of an idea of where we're going with all of this. So in this unit, we will talk at length about incident investigation, root cause analysis and corrective action. Root cause analysis and investigative techniques can be applied to different types of failures. And we're going to discuss different types of failures later in this video. But we'll talk about investigative techniques. We're going to talk about root cause of analysis. And one challenge of root cause analysis is to know exactly when to apply it. Companies must employ measurements that are directly related to organizational performance in order to know whether or not improvements are necessary. To measure organizational performance, objectives are written. Objectives, what we want to do, in and of themselves, though, that cannot help us too much if they are not measurable. Objectives must be measurable. Gordon Bethune, former CEO of Continental Airlines, said, "What gets measured gets managed, or gets the focus." Latino, in your text, said, "You cannot improve what you cannot measure." So we must be able to measure our objectives. Therefore, we can determine if our objectives are not being met. If our measurement of the objectives indicate that the objectives aren't being met, then we can conduct root cause analysis techniques, investigative techniques, in order to determine the root cause of that. But first we need to know how to measure our objectives. Before we can even do that, we need to have direction. We need to know what direction we want to take our company. Vision, mission, and values define and guide your organization. All underlying strategy, objectives, measures, targets, everything that goes on throughout your company, all of this should point to your vision, missions, and values. It should all be aligned, and it should cascade down from the vision, mission, and values through the entire organization. Vision, mission, and values, therefore, influence. They filter down through the organization and influence everything your company does. As such, in our presentation here, we're going to start with that higher level conceptual vision, mission, values, and we're going to start that way in this video and work our way down to those more tangible objectives eventually. Here's one illustration of a company hierarchy. We will discuss the area in blue during this video, starting with values. Values represent what is valuable to the company. That's morals, ethics, and ideals. They are baseline philosophies. There's a slight semantic difference between values and principles. They are slightly different, but I want to make sure that you understand the different concepts, or the conceptual difference between the two of them, and that difference can be understood when we take the words themselves back to their Latin roots. The Latin root of the word value is valor. Valor means the cost of something or the worth of it. How much is it worth? Valor, that's the value. What is it worth to you in this case? Principle, on the other hand, has the Latin root of principio. Principio means that it's the source of, the beginning, or the baseline of something. So when determining your value statements, it is important as a Christian in business to build those value statements upon our Christian principles. Larry Burkett, in his book called Business by the Book, gives us several practical baseline biblical minimums that we should practice when running our business, that we can practice in running our business in a manner that's pleasing to God and that provides a positive witness for Him. Here are a few of those excerpts from his book that with the related biblical references. Those are principles, biblical principles in how we should run our companies. When writing our value statements, Our actual values statement will depend on the specific business model and our way of doing business, but our values statement should articulate how the organization will run, how the employees will conduct business, and it should be based on our Christian principles. As Christians in business, we know that integrity and honesty are rare in many business segments. And as Christians, we stand apart when we do the right thing. When we do the right thing, even when nobody is looking. We should operate with a higher quality and uncompromising integrity because we work as unto the Lord. Vision is the potential. It's the ideal. It articulates what is possible in the future. What possibilities will your business create, or what do you want to create? Several different examples of vision statements are included in your presentation from actual organizations. One Christian, a couple government organizations, and a couple for-profit organizations. So take a look at those examples of vision statements. Mission statement, working our way down through the pyramid, on the other hand, dictates how we carry out the vision that we have articulated. So let's summarize real quick. Values are those things based on our principles that the characteristics or the character in which we want to operate. Vision is the potential for the future. What do we want to see in the future? And then the mission dictates how we carry out the vision that we have articulated. The mission turns the vision into practice. In the article that I asked you to read, it's called 3 Statements That Can Change the World, Mission, Vision, Values. The author helps us understand the difference between vision and mission by adding "airy" after it. It would be visionary and missionary. A visionary sees the possibilities of the future. A missionary, Christian missionaries, carry out the work. They're actually boots on the ground. They carry out the work. That is, if they're full-time missionaries or Christians in business even. Missionaries, boots on the ground, carry out the work that Christ has for us to do. That is just one way to help remember the difference in the concepts between vision and mission. Vision, mission, and values is carried out in everyday operation. They influence all aspects of business. When decisions are made, they are made within the paradigm of the vision, within the paradigm of the mission, and within the paradigm of the values. Additionally, everything that the company does should be in alignment with and support the company's vision, mission, and values to ensure the company moves in the intended direction. So, values, vision, and mission should influence. That is, they flow down, they influence everything that the company does. Objectives, strategy, the day-to-day operations, they support and lead to the values, the vision, and the mission. That way our company can be in alignment and all moving in the right direction.